All right, let's dive in. Today we are talking about something that is, frankly, essential for anyone using generative AI, and that's mastering the art of the prompt. Look, we're going to help you stop getting just lucky results and start becoming a director, someone who can actually reliably get what they want from AI. So let's get right to it.
So, does this sound familiar to you? You're using a tool like ChatGPT, maybe Midjourney, and 1 minute, bam, you get this brilliant, perfect answer. But then the next minute, you ask for something almost identical and you get, well, complete garbage, right? It can feel like a total roll of the dice. And honestly, that inconsistency, it's probably the #1 frustration for pretty much everyone.
Okay, it is absolutely time to stop leaving this stuff to chance. The whole point here is to give you a solid framework that puts you in the driver's seat. We're talking about moving from just luck to deliberate, intentional control. This is how you make sure that AI is giving you quality, cost-effective, and, most importantly, reliable results every single time, whether you're just messing around or building it into a real application.
Okay, so from chance to control, and we need to talk about why your current approach to AI might be failing. Before we jump into the how-to, we've got to understand the core problem here. It's really simple. The quality of the AI's output is directly tied to the quality of your input. I mean, think about it like this. Giving an AI a simple, lazy prompt, it's like handing a master chef a single carrot and just saying, make me dinner. Sure, you might get something you can eat, but you're definitely not getting a masterpiece.
And this is exactly where something called prompt engineering comes into play. Now, don't let that word engineering freak you out. It sounds super technical, but really, just think of it as the craft of giving incredibly clear instructions. It's about having a system for designing a set of directions, like a really detailed map, that guides the AI exactly where you want it to go. And you know what? The better these AI models get, the more valuable this skill actually becomes.
All right, next up, the limits of naivety, or the 5 weaknesses of a simple prompt. Look, we've all been there, right? You throw a simple, kind of naive prompt at the AI, and sometimes you get a surprisingly good result. It happens. But for any kind of professional work, or anything you need to do over and over again, that approach is just a recipe for failure. In the real world, every single one of those failed prompts costs you time, and it costs you money. So let's break down the 5 critical weaknesses that are causing these problems.
So first off, vague instructions. This just forces the AI to guess what you want, and that leads to generic, totally bland output. Then you've got unformatted output. You know, sometimes you get a list, sometimes a paragraph. It's a mess, and it's impossible to use in any automated way without a ton of cleanup. Next up, no examples. When you don't show the AI what you want, it just defaults to the average of everything it was trained on, which is basically the average of the entire internet. And let's be honest, that is rarely what you're looking for. Then there's no evaluation. You're just kind of guessing why one prompt worked and another didn't, so you have no real way to improve. And finally, no task division. You're trying to get it to do something really complex all in one shot, which just skyrockets the chances of it failing.
So how do we fix all that? What's the solution? Well, it's a foundational framework built on 5 universal principles that work no matter what AI model you're using. Seriously, think of this as your new checklist, your go-to compass for crafting every single prompt you write from now on. And here they are. It's pretty straightforward. Give direction, specify format, provide examples, evaluate quality, and divide labor. These 5 steps, I'm telling you, when you use them together, they will fundamentally change the quality and the reliability of your AI outputs. So, let's break each one down. Okay, first up, give direction. What does this mean? It means giving the AI a role, a persona. So instead of just talking to some generic machine, you're now instructing an expert. You tell it, act as a skeptical financial analyst, or you are a witty copywriter for a Gen Z brand. When you do that, you're activating a very specific part of the model's huge brain, and it immediately narrows down the style, the tone, everything. It literally stops guessing and starts performing. Principle number 2. Specify the format. And let me be clear, this is completely non-negotiable if you're ever going to use AI outputs in another system. You have to tell the model exactly how to structure its response. I mean, whether you need a simple comma-separated list or a JSON object for an API, whatever it is, defining that format is absolutely crucial. It's the key to consistency and actually being able to use the output. Number 3, provide examples. This one is maybe one of the most powerful techniques you can use. It's often called few-shot prompting, and really, it's the difference between telling someone how to do something and actually showing them. All you do is provide just 1, 2, or 3 examples of what you want, and suddenly you're not just describing a pattern, you're demonstrating it. And the leap in quality you get from this, it's just massive. It's a total game changer.
All right, principle 4 is all about moving from gut feelings to actual data. Evaluate quality. This just means you stop guessing and you start testing. You create a few different versions of your prompt, you run them a bunch of times, and you actually measure which one works best. This is how you make real, data-driven decisions to make your prompts better, cheaper, and faster.
And last but not least, number 5, divide labor. The logic here is super simple. Don't give the AI one giant, complicated task. It's just not good at that. Instead, break it down. Create a chain of smaller, simpler prompts where each one handles just one little part of the job and then passes its result on to the next one. This chaining makes things way more reliable, it makes it easier to fix things when they go wrong, and honestly, it lets you solve problems that would be completely impossible with just a single prompt.
Principles in practice. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's see what this actually looks like. We're going to look at some real practical examples that show you just how much of a difference an engineered prompt can make.
So check this out. For principle 1, give direction. The naive prompt is just write some product names. I mean, who knows what you'll get back? It's a total gamble. But look at the engineered one. Act as Steve Jobs. Right there, you've given it a persona. Then you give it context, a new smart coffee mug, and specific goals, simplicity and innovation. You can almost feel the kind of results you're going to get now, right? Minimalist, creative, focused. That's the power of direction.
And now for principle 2, specify format. The naive follow-up is list them. Again, this could be a numbered list, bullet points, who knows. But the engineered prompt is super specific. Return the names as a JSON array within a product names key. For anyone building an app, this is gold. The output is perfectly clean, it's machine readable, and you can plug it straight into your code with zero cleanup. It seems like a small change, but it saves a huge amount of time.
And this is where the magic of principle 3 really shines. The naive prompt asks for something super abstract. Generate a creative name. What does that even mean? But the engineered prompt, it provides examples. And notice, they're not even from the same category. We've got a fridge, a watch. What this does is it teaches the AI the underlying pattern of what a powerful, cool, evocative brand name feels like. So now the AI can take that abstract idea and apply it directly to your task. It's brilliant. So let's look at an example of AI chaining, which really combines those last two principles. Instead of one huge prompt like create and vet good product names, we break it up. Prompt number 1's only job is to generate a big, raw list of 20 names. It's just brainstorming, quantity over quality. Then we take that output and we feed it into a second prompt. And that prompt's only job is to evaluate the list, to rate each name on things like clarity and how memorable it is. This two-step process, this chaining, makes the whole thing way more reliable and gives you a much, much better final result. Okay, let's talk about your path to expert. Because what we've been talking about, this isn't just some clever trick. It's a genuinely future-proof skill. Mastering these 5 principles isn't about learning a few temporary hacks for today's AI. No, you're building a real, systematic skill set that is only going to become more and more valuable as time goes on. And this quote from the source material really hits the nail on the head. These 5 principles are not short-lived tricks. They are proven conventions for interacting with any form of intelligence, artificial or biological. Think about what that means. This is really just about clear communication. And because of that, it doesn't matter what comes next, GPT-5, Midjourney version 10, some AI we haven't even heard of yet. This framework, this way of thinking, is still going to apply. And as we look to the future, it's all going to be about being modular. The pros aren't going to just use one AI. They're going to build these complex workflows that chain different specialized models together. You might use one AI because it's great with data, and another because it's super creative, all for the same project. And these 5 principles, they are the absolute foundation you need to build those kinds of sophisticated chains. So here's the bottom line. Your next AI result, it does not have to be a matter of luck. With this framework, it can be entirely by design. You now have the tools you need to move from chance to control. So the only question left is, what are you going to create?